afternoon. Welcome to Hornets Sports Buzz. It's Thursday, March 7th. I'm joined by Coach Derek Ellis and Alexis Kianda of the girls track team. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Quick update before we talk all about girls track. Just a reminder, the boys hoop team is going to play in Taunton tomorrow, Friday night, for the Division I South Sectional Final. It's the third straight year they're going to the final. 7 out of the last 10. They're playing Newton North, and so if you see this before then or you know about it, make sure you go down to watch. They're the only team Mansfield indoor still competing, as far as I know. So, all right, we're going to quickly segue to indoor track. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. What I like to ask a lot of the kids that come on is the captain process. So you're one of the 4 captains.
Yes.
And we're going to meet a couple of them. But do you remember how the selection process, to be named a captain?
Yeah, so basically our whole team voted, and I guess I was one of the lucky winners, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And they vote last year, right? At the end of
Yes.
like,
At the end of,
pre-banquet?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how many years you been running?
I've been running since freshman year, so yeah. This is my 11th season of track overall, so
Oh,
can't
okay.
get enough.
So which season did you not run?
Oh, well, I guess I have one more season.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd be good at math. Okay, so you're 11 for 11 so far.
Yeah.
All right, let's get. We'll back up a little bit. We don't want to give away things, but let's just say Coach and the girls had another great season. Coach, individual dual meet champions, Hawk champions. Congratulations.
Well, thanks. Yeah, they did awesome.
And Coach is one of our few people that have been on for the second time. He was on cross country. So cross country, individual, and Hawk meet champions, and same for indoors. But describe how that feels. I mean, I know when you had on, this is your 15. You've been coaching for a long time. Is this the first time you've kind of run the table so far? Or?
I mean, for cross country and.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to knock on wood.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I totally forgot.
Yeah, indoor season. How'd you guys do last year? I cannot remember.
I believe, didn't we come in like second or third? We're usually like a top 3 team.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Top 13, that's great. And then Alexis, I have the stats in front of me. Do you know what the closest dual meet was?
Oh, it was definitely the Taunton meet.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah.
53 to 47.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy in indoor track right now. If you get 100, total points 100, so anything 50 or more, you're going to win or tie. So that's a close beat.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything? Do you participate? First of all, what events do you run?
Yeah, I do the 300 and the 55, and then occasionally I do a relay.
Okay. And anybody that's been into the Reggie Lewis Center where all the varsity meets held and the league meet and the state meet, it's a 200-meter track. So the 300, would you say that's your specialty?
Yes.
Yeah. So in any sprinting event, the start is kind of very key.
Yes.
Are you good at starts, would you say, or?
For the 300, yes. Like the start doesn't matter as much, but for the 55, it's a lot, or it's really important.
It's the whole race,
yeah.
Almost, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And at the Reggie, the 300, you start on the turn. So
Mm-hmm.
do you like running on that? I don't know if you've been over to the Reggie. It's bank, the
Yes.
lane 6. You like running up high, or?
Oh yeah, I love running in lane
do
6.
you really?
Yeah, it's the best because once you get momentum, it feels like you're flying.
Oh, that's great. And then just back to the Taunton meet. Do you remember anything particular about that? Did it come down to the relays, or?
I'm not sure if it came down to the relays, but I know we were really close during the relays, so
Yeah.
it was very tense.
Yeah. You like running the 4x2 as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
and the 4x4.
Yeah, a lot of track runners when they come on, it's an individual sport, but it really is a team sport, and they like running the relays. So, Coach, I want to ask you a few things. Actually, first of all, I always forget. Let me ask the assistant coaches. Can you give a shout out? Remind us who all your assistant coaches are.
Oh yeah, we got Coach Sarah, who does sprints. Coach Johnson does jumps. Coach Fong and Coach Kirk do shot.
Okay, so now that I think about it, you share some of the boys coaches. Kevin Boucher is the head coach of the boys, but so those coaches actually coach the boys and the girls in the jumps and the
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, our events, they kind of overlap with each other. So.
Okay, that's good. Let's talk about the Hawk meet. First place, and I think I don't know if Taunton that was Taunton's only loss to you guys. I'm
Yes,
assuming?
yeah.
And you guys won the Hawk meet. I think you had 92 points, and North got 84.
Yes.
Did they win the Davenport?
Yeah, they were undefeated in that.
Yeah. And I know we've had Coach Kevin Boucher on and talked to Coach Collins, but do you do the pre-scoring in the meet, or you just say whatever happens?
Yeah, we did the pre-score. North Abra was favorite. So going into that meet, told the girls the only thing we do is perform our best. Can't make a single mistake, and they did it. They performed their best. So.
Perform my best sounds good, and then can't make a mistake. That
Yes.
sounds tough. So were you nervous going into that meet, Alexis?
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be a tough meet going into it, but obviously, like, we made it through, and yeah, it was really nice to win.
That's great. And then I know, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
I hope you're pretty good at math, right?
We're good.
Do you know how the scoring goes in the league meet and the state meet for first through eighth?
Yeah, so I know
Oh,
that
see, I was hoping you would know that.
I believe that first place they get 10 points, and then second place gets 8 points, third place gets 6 points, and then just like it goes down from there.
5, 4, 3, 2. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's good. Not everybody does it. I know the Mansfield athletes do it because in the larger meets it comes down to 8 points is not a big margin of victory. Coach, can you talk about your strategy? Because I know just looking at the results, I can see a couple key things. But and you could tell us what are the limitations for each athlete in the Hawk meet?
Any 3 events in the Hawk meet. The strategy going into it was just try to put athletes in the events that are going to score the highest. We knew right from the start the mile was going to really determine our day from the first event.
Yeah.
I mean, they placed 3 in the top 4 there, which was huge points right from the start.
I think 21 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. And then, again, everybody's seen the show. It's kind of team-oriented, but Tess Lancaster, she won 2 events, right?
Yeah, she was a sophomore, won 2 events. I kind of, originally, we were just going to have her go for 3rd in the 2 mile. I'm not a big fan of racing hard in 2 events. And then right before the race, she asked, what should I do? I'm like, just go for it. And she kind of shocked the league and grabbed the first place in that too. So
That's impressive. That's a tough double. And I know historically, Coach Butera, Coach Collins, you guys don't like to double. I think it's different from a sprinter because
Yeah.
if you run the 55 and 300, that's tough because especially if you advance, it's 2 or 3 races. But
Yeah.
does it, and then have you ever tripled? Have you ever run like the relay, the 55?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a little tough, especially because there's not much time between like the 300 and the 4x4. But I really enjoy it.
Do you?
It's worth it.
And do you have to know your recovery time? Like you have 20 minutes to your next race, and if you didn't have that, then you got to really be prepared. And
Yeah.
and I've seen the coach of the meet. He's busy, either timing or helping out. And you have how many athletes under you, Coach?
I think this year we're at around 65.
Yeah, so you can't really be babysitting them, right? So
No, they run the show at meets.
Yeah. So that's a good segue. What are some of the captain's responsibilities like, both at practice and at the meets, Alexis?
Yeah.
Just in general.
So at practice, we lead like the warm-ups and the stretches, and then we'll lead like workouts too. And then at the meets, like I know for my events, right before like our meet, or I guess like our races start, like we warm up with everyone in our race.
That's great. And then, so you're gonna run outdoor track?
Yes.
That's good. And I know I asked you this off air, but do you know what you're gonna do post high school? What do you?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to a college, not sure yet. I'm very indecisive.
Mansfield High? No.
And yeah, I'm going to do biology and pre-med.
Oh, that's great. That's
Thank you.
ambitious. Yeah. And you don't know New England, or have you broader? Or you just you don't want to say yet. You got
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to stay like hopefully like in like the New England area, hopefully like close-ish to home, but we'll see.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And then, Coach, just a couple more questions, like segueing from the Hawk meet. Individual dual meets are tough, and I know you guys can beat Franklin, but usually that's a tough meet too.
Yeah, Franklin's always tough meet. So, we started off with them, so we're like, oh, kind of decides the season right here. And then once they beat Franklin, we knew Taunton was the other one, which was on the back end of the season. So.
And then how do you switch from the league meet, which is really, it's got to be the focal point, and then switch into a state meet, which I hate to say it, it's a team competition, but it really comes down to individuals because why don't you describe, Alexis, do you know how qualifying for the state meet works?
Yeah, so basically you have to hit like a certain time, and then that's how you qualify. Or if you're like, I guess one of the top 32, I believe, in an individual race in your division, then you'll make it in.
Yeah, that's good, and that's tough. And Did you happen to qualify?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. In the 55 or the 300?
In both.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So your strategy coach tends to change. Like you go from 60 athletes maybe down to 15 or 20 or 10 to 15.
Yeah. After dual meet, we'd probably lose like, I don't know, third of the team, and then once we hit states, you're down to probably like 10 or 15 girls.
And do you always want to do well as a team, but you and your assistant coaches, you kind of focus, like just say Tess Lancaster or Bryn Anderson, who's going to be on the show, or Alexis. If you qualify for two, you're going to really pick the best event for them, like, right?
Yeah, we try to set it up like during the dual meet season, so we see where our team is, and we try to figure out Hawks, states, because we want to make sure we get them where they need to be at states.
Yeah.
But if we need them for certain things during the season, we try to get them into the events we want them run at states so they qualify, and then it gives us flexibility and dual meets to use them for points when we need them.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a juggling act.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Those of you, do you know the website where athletes can check? I knew, but like just for the future runners out there, is there a good? Do you know what website it is to check the results?
Athletic.net.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. If you have 7th or 8th graders coming up that are watching this, go on there. You can see you've been running for 11 or 12 seasons, and you can see your whole history. It's really impressive, and you can see team-wide and where you rank in the state. So that's really good. So let me see, Coach. I think I might have had one more question for you. This one was a tough. Rumor had it you broke the 4-minute mile recently.
Yeah, 3:59.99.
Yeah.
Not the world record that was just broken a couple days ago.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about the new? Derek just purchased a new timing device system. Can you talk a little bit about that and why you need it instead of just the old-fashioned stuff?
I didn't purchase it. They did a great job fundraising, and they raised enough money to buy it. So I've been playing around with it in my basement. That's why I ran the 3:59.99. Always want to break 4 minutes in a mile. I even had a nice lean. So, but no, we plan on using it for dual meets because for states conversion time from hand time to FAT time, they make it a 0.4, which it's supposed to be 0.24 in the rail track world.
Okay.
But Massachusetts makes it 0.4. So we're hoping to use the FAT timing during our dual meets to give our athletes a better advantage at qualifying for states.
Yeah.
They'll have that.
Especially for the sprinters, because the miler, if you run 5:10 versus 5:10.4, no big deal. But sprinters, 4/10 is difference between
It's
first and fourth. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming on. Good luck in the outdoor season. I think it starts, the day after St. Patrick's Day?
March 18th.
Yes.
Yep.
March 18th. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having
Hopefully
us.
we'll have you on one more time. You can set the
Oh,
record.
yes.
Alexis, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Post high school and 12 out of 12 seasons. So
Thank you very much.
thank you. We'll be right back with 2 other captains, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Welcome back to Hornets Sports Buzz. We're here talking about girls indoor track. We're joined by 2 more captains, Bryn Anderson on my left and Amanda Mangano on my far left. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
It's great. So, Coach Ellis stole some of your thunder.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. A little bit.
We know all about your great season. And how many years have you been running, Amanda? I know I've watched. I go to a lot of the meets. I know you've been running since freshman year.
Since freshman year.
Yeah. And you did you do the I call it modified cross? No, you played soccer again.
I played
right?
soccer, yes.
And you got hurt.
I did. This fall, I fractured my kneecap right before the season started for winter track.
That's not fun.
Yeah, not fun at all. But
Any surgery or?
nope, just time.
That's good. That's good. So let's back up. Talk about track. Bryn, and you've been running for
Yep, since freshman year.
freshman year, and I know you're a big soccer player.
Right, yeah.
All right. So Coach Ellis wanted us to talk about track. So, what event do you run?
I run the 1,000 primarily, and then in the spring I do the 800.
Okay. So those people at home, 1,000. How can they think of that?
If you picture the big track, it's 2.5 laps.
Okay. Yeah. So it's in between the half and the mile.
Exactly, yeah.
And you don't like running those long distances, right?
No, I keep it as short as possible. I do the 55.
The 55.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's just those of you who haven't been to Reggie Lewis. I think the reason they do it 55 is that's all the room they have in the infield. Gives you time to stop. Do you ever go past the high jump pits and kind of crash onto the track? Or?
Oh yeah, you have to jump on the mats at the end for sure.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to.
Yeah, it's pretty. Did you ever try the hurdles?
Oh no, I'm not coordinated enough for that.
That's pretty funny. And I asked Alexis, it's a great honor to be captain, and congratulations.
Thank
Do
you.
and I know the process, but is it traditionally? I know the boys team. Do you traditionally have a distance runner, a sprinter, or it's just whoever your fellow teammates?
Yeah, it pretty much normally ends up being one from each event, since that's kind of how the girls vote. Because I don't know, the juniors and seniors sort of lead the team anyway. So I think whoever has kind of been leading just kind of gets voted captain for each event.
And do you get to vote for 4 people, or?
Normally
good.
it's 4. I think in past years there's been 5, but normally between 4 and 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and so are you guys both captains for outdoors too?
Yes.
That's good. That's a lot of work.
No, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
And
It's
you were
fun.
captain for soccer, so yeah, a lot of work on your parents usually.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good.
That's true.
So, and then what about the relay? Did you run the relay this year?
I didn't run the relay
Yeah.
this year.
Because again, I'm a track geek. I know historically, the past year or two, you've been part of the 4x200 meter
I
team.
have been, yes. Up until this year, I had been in the relay for almost every meet, and then I switched over to doing long jump instead.
Yeah, yeah. So I know, and you didn't talk about it. See, you both don't give it. You also do the long jump and the high jump.
Yes, I
right?
do.
Okay. So let's the dual meet season. Do you guys remember the Taunton meet?
I do.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the 4x4, and we knew that the meet was close, and I was the anchor of the 4x4 team,
man.
and we knew that the girl running against us runs sub 60 400 splits, which is crazy.
So you wanted a big lead.
So yeah, but she beat me, but
Oh.
it didn't end up coming down to that, luckily.
Yeah.
But I remember being pretty worried about that at that point. But
Yeah. So those of you at home, I keep saying that because we have thousands of people that watch the show.
yeah, oh,
But,
definitely.
Yeah, I shouldn't
All the
laugh. Tell me if I'm wrong, but individual meets and dual meets are worth 5 for first, 3 for second, and 1 for third.
Yeah.
And then the relays, it's 5 for first and 0 for second.
Yep.
So
all
you guys had
even.
maybe clinched probably before the.
I think so.
But you
yeah.
don't know
but
it
we
because
didn't know.
sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. So that's good. And then they don't run the 4x8 in the.
Nope, not in the regular season, just for the postseason ones.
So there's a segue. Let's talk about the 4x8.
Yep.
We're going to build up to the conclusion, but
Yeah.
how did you? So did you run in the state relays meet during the season, or?
Yeah, so we did the state relays just to kind of try the 4x8, and then we don't really get a chance to run it very often, especially not fresh, because we normally do our normal events, and then we each do the relay after too. So we did that at Hawks, and then the first time, or then we also did it at, I think it was the Boston Holiday Challenge we did it, but again, we weren't really fresh either. So the first time we had run it fresh, I think, was at the state meet, because at divisionals, me and Grace had both done the 1,000.
So the all-state meet. Okay. So let's talk. Again, we're going to build up to the conclusion. But what did you run in the divisionals for time? Do you guys remember as a team?
I think we ran, I want to say a 10:02 maybe.
That's very good. That's what I
Is
have
that
written
right?
down. Yeah.
Yes,
And do you know what the what the school record was? I say was.
9:53.
See, 9:53.
Yep.
Okay. And what did you guys? Now, how did you guys do in the all-state meet?
We ran at 9:49, so we broke the school record.
That's unbelievable. So you improved 13 seconds, if I did my math right. And you and Grace were fresh.
Yep.
So let's so Bryn ran it, and tell us your three, who usually ran. I know you can have alternates.
Yeah, so it was me, Grace Fernandez, Grace Doyle, and Katie Miller.
Katie Miller. And Katie's a freshman.
Yep. And then
Grace is-
Grace sophomore, and then Grace Doyle is a junior. So we had one from each grade.
So they're gonna break the record without you, Bryn, next year.
I know, that's what I said. I said that last night. I was like, I'm going to enjoy
No.
this while it lasts, because just the younger girls are so good on our team, and they're just going to keep improving. So I can't wait to see that.
That's great. So those of you that are 9:49. So if I do my math, it's an average of 227 something.
Yep.
Do you remember what your split was?
It was a 226.
That's pretty. That's really good to have
Thank
4
you.
girls average that. Yeah, it's good. But we don't have anything to ask of Amanda. Amanda has not had a great career at Mansfield High.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Oh, no.
That's my big joke. But Amanda does 3 events herself. But what's your favorite event? Forget about what you're best at. What do you like doing?
As much as I love running in a straight line, I do think long jump's one of my favorites.
That's good. And the runway is approximately what is it? 50 yards, or do you know?
It's right next to the 55 when you do it, so I'm assuming it's like 50
Yeah.
meters.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's your PR for the long jump?
I think it's like, oh gosh, 17 something.
That's really good. Yeah, that's good.
Crazy.
You know, and I go to a lot of meets, and the oval events and the sprinting events get a lot of attention. Shot put, unless your kid's doing the shot put, but the long jump too, because you're kind of running as the race is going by. So how do you balance? If you typically in a dual meet, you're probably in 2 or 3 meets. How do you at high jump you get? Why don't you talk about how the high jump works? How many attempts you have at the bar?
All right, so the way that high jump works is opening height is about 4 feet 2 inches. And then if you want to, you can choose to come in at either a higher height, like later on, so you can like save up your jumps and like your energy. So usually I'll come in at 4.8, and when I clear that, it goes up 2 inches, and it keeps going up 2 inches as you clear it. But you have 3 chances to make each height, and if you don't make it on your 3 chances, then the height that you previously made was like what you scored.
So in a dual meet, say you jump 4.8 or 4.10, and you have first place wrapped up, do you kind of shut it down and say, I'm going to focus on the long jump and the 55?
It honestly depends on how the meet is going.
Yeah.
If I've secured first place in high jump and now it's on to long jump and I need to score first in that to get those points, I'll just be done with high jump and I'll run over and do long jump.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit with Coach Ellis and Alexis, but you guys as captains, you kind of have to balance. Like Coach Ellis isn't going around saying, Amanda, you got to go. You're kind of responsible for yourself, which is good. It's different in other sports because I've seen football and soccer and basketball, and the coaches have a lot of, they're kind of really running the show. But in track, you guys have to be independent. And
Yeah, definitely.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's different, especially because if you haven't done track before, like the underclassmen coming in just really don't know what to expect. Like they've never been to a place like Reggie Lewis, so I think the captains are kind of a big part of showing them the ropes and like what to do.
And like how long to prepare to warm up
Yeah.
and cool down.
Definitely.
As a distance runner, have you gone outside the Reggie for your cool downs?
Yes, they don't like when we do that, but it's just so hot in there and it
Yeah.
just smells bad, so we do sometimes.
Yeah. It's a interesting neighborhood. You
Yep.
have to know it. Hopefully you guys stay together.
Yeah, we don't go far from the building. But
Yeah, and it's
so nice
usually
to meet you.
20 degrees out there.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then the hawk meet. We've talked a little bit with Coach Ellis, but as an athlete, Alexis admitted she was nervous. I mean, you guys won the Kelly Rex, and I said you won the dual meet, but you didn't face North Attleboro, and I'm sure there was maybe Milford's usually pretty good. I don't know how they were in the girls' side, but what do you think about going into the hawk meet, Amanda? Like, did you as a team and individual?
As a team, I felt like there wasn't a lot of pressure because, as Ellis said, like we weren't really favored to win, so that we didn't have the pressure of having to come out and be the best. But I think as an individual, it was a little bit stressful just because, you're a senior, you're going into your last winter season, like you want to do your best and you want to get those points for your team.
Yeah, that's good. And I know the boys' side and the girls' side historically, you get, just say you have an off day and you got, not you, but anybody, you come in 6th and you were seated 2nd. You're disappointed, but the team, that's a difference of 6 points. So it is tough, but that's why it's nice when you have the relay to come back to, or at the long jump. So you guys won. So I did look at. We won't talk too many stats, but all-time top 5. Both of you girls are on the list. Did you know that?
No, I
Brandon,
didn't.
number 4 all-time in Mansfield's history in the 1,000, 308. So yeah.
Take it. Thank you.
Assuming Coach put it in the records. And Amanda, we got you. Not we, but you are 2nd in the 55. I can't read, 3rd in the high jump and 3rd in the long jump. So that's pretty impressive. So we're talking about 2 of the Mansfield's finer athletes, and that's great. And then individual. I'm not good at segues, as you know.
That's okay.
Divisional
Sounds good to
meets.
me.
I mean, it's a whole different thing because I really think it's. You feel like it's less of a team meet.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because you see the board of all like the team's points, and Mansfield doesn't usually have too many. You have
Yeah.
those big teams like Natick and Wellesley who have like the majority of the points. So you're just kind of trying to get the points for yourself, and it's kind of more individual, just going for like a PR.
Yeah, you were Division 1, which I think even like 2 or 3 years ago, you guys were Division 2. So that makes a big difference. Going against the Brocktons and
Yep.
Wellesley, and some of those individual girls or boys can almost win the meet themselves. They,
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
Chris Conley. So
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
great. So Amanda, where might you matriculate? That's my favorite word. Where might you matriculate next year, or do you know yet?
Next year I'm going to be going to Northeastern and I will be running track.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a Division 1 program.
Yes.
That's great. And what do they require you to do? Like, do you have to run all year, or do you get a couple months off to?
I'm going to get a couple months off at the beginning of the school year,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to be a full-time sprinter and jumper.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
great. About 4 years older than you, Dan Romano. I don't know if you.
Yep.
He's in his 4th year at Northeastern. He's a distance runner. He had a great career, and I don't know if you saw him during the recruiting process.
I didn't see him during the recruiting
Yeah.
process, but I heard a lot about him.
And there's Mike Duggan, who's Lauren's,
Lauren's brother. Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Laura, I'm sorry, Bryn.
Yeah,
Yeah. Does anybody at home know how to spell Bryn? No.
probably not.
Do you know where you're going next year, or is it? Still?
I don't yet. No, I'm still waiting to hear back from like the regular decision school, so I should know by like the end of March, early April.
That's great. And what about? And we didn't really talk about your soccer career, which was. You girls, the whole team won third straight, and Amanda was on the team. Third straight Hawk championship, is that right?
Yep.
That's impressive, and
Yeah.
pretty far in the tournament, right?
Yeah, we made it to the third round, which is pretty far. I mean, it's farther than we've made it in a while, and we ended up losing that game in double overtime, which was a really tough loss.
Like in the
but
100th minute? Or,
yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
like, I think 10 seconds left of the last overtime, so we're about to go to a shootout. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a great
So
season.
nice.
Yeah. So if you participate in athletics in college, and the answer here is track, just so you know.
track, definitely.
Because
Alice
Coach
is watching.
No,
it's
no.
track.
Are you considering both, or are you just academics, right? first?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to play soccer in some form, whether it's kind of the varsity soccer there, or I'll definitely do club soccer at least. And then probably, I think I will run a little bit, maybe like a running club, something like that, but nothing too intense.
Yeah. And Amanda, you did. Do you recommend like playing different sports? I usually ask. I didn't forgot to ask Alexis. Like you guys are both outstanding athletes, but do you recommend
you.
doing different sports? To say when you're 6th grade, 8th grade, when you're younger. For the kids, for the thousands of kids watching at home.
For all the kids watching at home, I definitely recommend switching up sports. Not because you have to, but just because it's really good for your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes just running, it just does so much damage to your bones. Switching it up a bit can keep you from injury, especially shin splints.
Yeah, and you've talked about you've suffered some injuries over.
Oh, I've had my fair share of
for,
injuries.
For a young person, yeah. And how have you overcome that? Like I know Mansfield. What do you guys use for physical therapy, or do you guys pick your own place, or?
We have the marathon sports that they have their weight room sessions for us, so we do kind of injury prevention stuff about 3 times a week. So they're really helpful.
That's good. And we should mention, speaking of injuries, fellow captain Val Bonora, is that how you say it? She's had a tough go in cross country.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
was she at all the meets? And
Oh yeah,
yeah.
always there cheering.
yeah, she's very supportive. So
Oh, yeah.
good
She's
luck.
a
We
great
hope she
captain.
can. Yeah, hopefully she can come back in the outdoors. But love to have you girls back in the outdoors if you want. But,
Of course, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Bryn.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
so much.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this time in Hornets Sports Buzz. Again, we never know who we're going to have next time, so make sure you watch. Thank you.